On Citrus TV News, a nor'easter hit central New York, causing SU to cancel classes for the first time in years. Find out what we can expect as the storm moves through.
And a shooting at Central Michigan University. Citrus TV News has an exclusive with a student at CMU who tells us how it unfolded.
And moving overseas, a gunman attacked a French embassy. Why officials are saying the act constitutes terrorism. All that and more right now.
This is Citrus TV News live at 6, your campus news leader.
Nearly 20,000 customers are without power today after a winter storm slammed central New York. Syracuse University canceled a full day of classes in light of the storm, making today's class cancellations the third full snow day in university history. Good evening. I'm Nicole DeMentri.
And I'm Noah Eagle. Throughout the day, the university operated on limited status, meaning that only essential university employees reported to their jobs. A winter storm warning is currently still in effect. Citrus TV's weather anchor Josh Feinblatt is live on the promenade with more on the storm. Josh, what do you have for us?
Yeah, Nicole, Noah, it is cold out here. Like you said, the third snow day in Syracuse University history for a full day of classes. The last one coming in 2011, and then the one before that, before we were born, or I assume most of us were born, in 1993. But there's a pretty cohesive environment out here. You know, people are sort of walking together in tight groups. They just came through and they're plowing. Everyone's sort of working together. Heck, even the Krause Bells played Let It Snow just a couple minutes ago. We're currently being hit what is called a bomb cyclone, which does not sound good, but it's basically a snowy hurricane when those warm and cold airs come together. And if we take a look at right now outside, it is a 29 degrees right now, and we've got people running through here. 29 degrees outside, and tonight the temperatures are going to continue. The snow is going to continue. There's a winter weather advisory until around 1 a.m. and tonight it's going to be around 31 degrees. I'm going to throw it back to you guys in the studio, where I hope it's a lot warmer than it is out here.
Thanks so much, Josh, and great job out there. Stay safe, please. We also have Brendan Tierney in studio to tell us how the university reached the decision to cancel classes. Brendan?
Yeah, thank you, Noah. The university began to actually prepare for this earlier in the week. Formal discussions began yesterday morning with a conference call with the university's weather contractor. It said the storm was different because of the wet, heavy snow that caused slippery conditions and power outages. They began making plans for what would need to be done in the event of a closure yesterday afternoon. They monitored weather conditions into the evening as the storm began to arrive, and DPS and News Services wrote a press release this morning around 1:30 a.m. This is the same release you received this morning, telling you that classes were canceled. And the official decision to actually cancel classes was not made until a 5:30 a.m. conference call with Chief Law Enforcement Officer Tony Costello says it was a perfect mix of combined conditions for today's snow day.
So with power outages happening, with the highways not being completely plowed at our initial look this morning, with the potential of about 10 more inches, and then the announcement during our call from the Onondaga County Commissioner of Emergency Management that there was a travel advisory, we came to the conclusion that this was the day that classes would be canceled at Syracuse University.
Snow has been falling between an inch and 1.5 inches per hour throughout the day, making it difficult to keep roads clear and sidewalks safe.
So as soon as we plow, and as soon as we drive a snowblower through a sidewalk area, within minutes there's more snow there. So conditions continue to be slippery. So people should, use caution, make sure they wear appropriate footwear.
Essential services personnel were still required to come to campus today. This includes food services, residential hall, and counseling and healthcare staff. It also includes people who work in recreational services in locations like the library, where students go when they are not in class.
We sent them a message to say, hey, the conditions are bad, be careful coming in, but we still need you. Okay. And certainly our folks from public safety, fire safety, physical plant, the custodial workers, people who plow and sweep and take care of, they all need to be here. The buildings are still here, the students are still here, we're just not having classes.
Now, a good decision was likely made. There were no accidents reported to DPS today. However, road conditions were very slippery. They're expecting things to be better tomorrow by the basketball game, but they will make a decision at the time tomorrow around noon, 1 o'clock. Nikki?
Thanks, Brendan, for that. We're glad to hear there were no accidents. And now the campus-wide effort to support the annual Vera House White Ribbon Campaign starts tomorrow at the Dome. Almost 100 student volunteers will hand out wristbands and collect donations before the men's basketball game against Clemson. The White Ribbon Campaign is led by men and encourages all community members to end sexual and relationship violence. The campaign will continue throughout the month. And students will have to wait just a little bit longer to get their hands on those free men's basketball tickets. The Student Association is pushing their 1,000 ticket giveaway for the Clemson game to Saturday morning. Tickets will be handed out on a first-come, first-served basis to those with a valid student ID and shine.
3 campus offices will be relocating after spring break as a part of the Invest Syracuse. The Office of the First Year and Transfer Programs, Office of Learning Communities, and Office of Health Promotion will all be open during their regular business hours in new locations on Monday, March 19th. Appropriate signage will be posted throughout the buildings to help students find the new offices. The Invent at SU program is extending its deadline, giving a little more time to undergraduate inventors. The deadline has been extended to March 23rd for the summer's program. Applicants design, prototype, and pitch original devices for the chance to win up to $5,000. This summer's edition of Invent at SU will take place at New York City and at the SU campus. And while we're stuck in the snow, Syracuse men's soccer is getting ready for Spain. That's right, the team will travel to Barcelona and Madrid during spring break to train, and the tour will include friendly matches against division teams Girona FC and Getafe FC. Coach Ian McIntyre called the tour a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the team.
That's really cool for the men's basketball team, or the soccer team. And back on the hill, 2 SU juniors are finalists for the Truman Scholarship. Dina Eldaway and Crystal Latona will face interviews in the coming weeks as the next step in the application process. The Truman Scholarship is awarded to roughly 60 college juniors for community service, academic accomplishment, and commitment to a career in public service. And although the snow is falling, gas prices in central New York are rising. According to the American Automobile Association, prices could rise up to $3 a gallon this spring. AAA says the price hike is due to crude oil selling at higher prices than normal. A survey found that 40% of customers would change their driving habits if gas prices actually reached that high.
Well, the flu outbreak is finally winding down. It's about time. Governor Cuomo announced that the number of flu cases has significantly decreased. There have been about a quarter fewer confirmed cases and nearly a 20% drop in hospitalizations. This comes after the governor's executive order that increased access to flu shots throughout New York. Despite the good news, Cuomo encouraged more New Yorkers to get flu shots and stay healthy. An Oswego legislator is facing new charges after being accused of child endangerment. Police say that Representative Sean P. Doyle, who represents Oswego's 3rd District, faces new charges of forcible touching, 3rd-degree sexual abuse, and endangering the welfare of a child. Doyle was re-elected in November, just weeks after the initial charges were felt.
Heading upstate to Buffalo, the Diocese of Buffalo is setting up a program to compensate victims of clergy sexual abuse. The program will be led by 2 former New York State Supreme Court judges. Victims will be able to have their claims heard and may receive compensation. This program follows retired priest Reverend Norbert F. Obsolus' admission to the Buffalo News earlier this week that he had abused dozens of boys in Buffalo. New York Republicans have named their choice for the Senate race in November. Republicans nominated Manhattan investment banker Chele Chayabachi Farley to run against Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. Farley previously served as the New York City finance chair for the Republican State Committee. Republicans have not won a statewide election in New York since 2002.
And coming up on Citrus TV, the largest money manager in the world is breaking its silence on the national gun debate. Find out how the asset manager is taking action.
Olympian Aly Raisman is taking the U.S. Olympic Committee to court. Why she says they could have prevented sexual abuse. We'll have that after the break.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
What are you, superheroes?
Just 4 brothers who hate bullies
and love this city.
Gear up, guys.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the Citrus TV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at Citrus TV News, your campus news leader.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News. A shooting at Central Michigan University left 2 dead Friday morning in a dorm. The 19-year-old suspect remains on the loose at this time. University police stated that Davis is armed and dangerous.
CMU police also detailed that the shooting was a domestic-type incident. Davis is thought to be an enrolled student, but the 2 victims were confirmed that they were not students.
Citrus TV spoke to Cameron Fisher, a student at Central Michigan University, to talk about how the university handled the situation.
Just getting ready for class when I got the initial phone call saying that, there was they heard gunshots in Campbell Hall, which my dorm is kind of neighboring Campbell, where I'm in the towers as well. And so at first I didn't really hear to take shelter, but we locked all of our doors and shut all the windows and the curtains. We just waited until there was more information.
Students received a central alert at around 9 this morning notifying them of the shooting. They then received an email from the university confirming shots were fired and telling students to stay inside.
Within half an hour, a second email, which was sent out, identified a person of interest and confirmed 2 individuals were fatally shot.
Fisher says in light of the Parkland shooting, the incident was unnerving.
It didn't really hit me that much that this was actually happening to me because, I see it all over the news with, Parkland. And I just didn't really realize it was happening to me. So at first I was kind of calm about it, but until I started getting, phone calls from my mom and my friends and my family members, it kind of, it just made it more of a real thing that was happening.
BlackRock, the world's largest money manager, is taking a stand in the national gun debate. In a 3-page client update today, the firm says they are working with customers to explore options that exclude gun industry stocks.
BlackRock also says it may vote against directors or management on shareholder proposals that do not agree with its new policies. The firm is the biggest owner of 2 publicly traded gun makers and the second biggest in a third one.
BlackRock says the decision is influenced by the events of the Parkland High School shooting in Florida.
Almost 2,000 people filled a white tent to lay to rest Reverend Billy Graham. His funeral was held this afternoon at the Bill Graham Library in Charlotte, North Carolina.
President Donald Trump and Vice President Mike Pence both attended the funeral. According to Graham's spokesperson, Trump is not expected to speak.
Graham passed away on February 21st at the incredible age of 99.
Olympic gymnast Aly Raisman is suing the U.S. Olympic Committee and USA Gymnastics. She says they should have stopped former team doctor Larry Nassar from abusing her and other athletes.
The lawsuit names Dr. Nassar, both organizations, and 2 former leaders of those organizations as defendants. Raisman wants a jury trial for serial molestation, sexual abuse, and harassment.
She also says over 500 people, including the defendants, were aware of and could have prevented the abuse.
The European Union says it is considering applying 25% tariffs on imported from the United States. Sources in the EU say the move would be in response to President Trump's plan to apply global duties to steel and aluminum.
European imports from the United States are valued at around $3.5 billion.
The EU says the measure will rebalance trade between itself and the U.S.
A gunman attacked the French embassy in the African nation of Burkina Faso this morning.
Authorities say 4 attackers were killed at the embassy and 2 others were killed at separate military headquarters in the capital, Ouagadougou. The Burkina Faso government says the attack has strong tones of terrorism.
The American embassy in the city advised people to seek shelter today.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu went under questioning by investigators this morning.
That questioning is a part of a case 4000, which is investigating corruption involving Netanyahu and his inner circle. Prosecutors say the PM advanced benefits for a friend and in return for favorable news coverage.
Netanyahu proclaimed his innocence in a Facebook video today after the interrogations ended.
Following the mysterious sonic attacks at the U.S. Embassy in Cuba, the United States is permanently withdrawing over half of its diplomats from the country.
The State Department pulled non-essential embassy personnel and their families to leave Havana, where the embassy is based.
However, diplomats cannot be pulled from an embassy for more than 6 months. Now, this is unless the move is permanent. Cuba continues to deny any involvement in the attacks.
And coming up on Citrus TV News, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are inviting guests from all over the UK to their royal wedding. More details after the break on who could get an invite.
I hope I get one of those. And the Lego company is making a move towards sustainability this year. How the company is attempting to build a greener future. Don't go anywhere.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Welcome back to Citrus TV News. Definitely great to be inside and warm with all of you guys. If you take a look at the precipitation earlier today, anywhere from 5 to around 1, 2 in the afternoon, definitely all this snow we hit that you're seeing outside. But there was a lot of rain anywhere from Boston all the way down to Washington, D.C. And if we take a look at what the precipitation is going to look like tonight, it's spread out a lot more, definitely in the south. It's a lot of rain, but we're still going to be getting that snow up here. But it's even going to get down into North Carolina, a lot of those winds. So winds and rain, definitely be aware. There's a lot of flood warnings depending on where you are. If you take a look at temperatures around the area, it's pretty consistent, or low 30s, high 20s. Binghamton got at around 26 degrees. If you're going out tonight, I definitely recommend against it. Just stay home, stay warm. You know, count this one out. But if you are going out, a scarf and gloves is definitely the way to go. snow. And if we take a look at this crazy weather this past week, it was sort of all over the place. There was some cloud, there was some sun, there was a little bit of rain, 63 degrees, and now we're sitting in the low 30s, high 20s with all this snow. And we take a look at our day planner for tomorrow, 32 degrees. It's going to hold at around 32, 33, 34 degrees, 85% chance for precipitation. It's going to keep snowing. Maybe it'll turn into a wintry mix as well. And if we take a look at our Citrus TV 5-day forecast, tomorrow game time at around 2 p.m. It's going to be around 32, 33 degrees, and the temperatures are going to advance and get a little bit higher throughout the week, but you're not going to see any sun anytime soon. Sorry to break it back to you guys.
Thanks so much for that update, Josh. Legos have inspired young builders for decades, and now they might help inspire a greener future. The Lego company is debuting new plant-based pieces later this year. The Legos will be made with material from sugarcane plants, and the company says it plans to implement the sustainable materials in its major products and packaging before 2030.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are opening up their wedding festivities to the public. The couple invited more than 2,600 people to Windsor Castle to be a part of the carriage processions before and after the ceremony. School children, Windsor locals, and members of charities close to the couple made the invitee list. I did not. The two wanted as many people as possible involved with their wedding, which is set to take place on May 19th.
Coming up in sports, the SU men's basketball team has one last chance to improve its regular season resume. Plus, the men's lacrosse team hits the road for the first time this season. All that and more right after this.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Hey, Hard, what's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning.
Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit.
I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me.
Okay, but remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Welcome back. I'm Jonathon Hoppe. Believe it or not, SU basketball closes out its regular season this weekend. The Orange host the number 19 Clemson Tigers in the Dome for Senior Day. A win on Saturday would give the Orange its first win this season over a top 25 opponent. During the most crucial time of the year, Syracuse has lost 4 of its past 5 games. That stretch certainly doesn't look great on the team's NCAA resume, but Coach Jim Boeheim says they're doing all they can.
This team's battled all year. They're trying everything. They try as hard. I can't even get upset when they're doing everything they can. We're just limited, and it's not that. I think people think that these guys can score like Matt and Marek and Pascal. They can't. They can pick up a bucket here or there, but they cannot score.
Tip-off between the Orange and Tigers is set for 2 o'clock. After the game is over, make sure to tune in to Orange Press Pass for complete post-game coverage. You can catch the highlights, reaction from Coach Boeheim, as well as hear from our reporter inside the Carrier Dome. The show starts at 6 o'clock on Orange Television Network. In recruiting news, CuseNation.com is reporting that Syracuse has offered 2018 forward Valdir Manuel. The site ranks the New Jersey native as the 43rd best forward in his class. If Manuel commits to Syracuse, he will join Darius Baisley, Jalen Carey, and Buddy Boeheim in the Orange's 2018 recruiting class. The tough schedule continues for the SU men's lacrosse team this weekend. The number 12 Orange battles the number 4 Cavaliers at 3 o'clock on Sunday in Charlottesville. Even though SU is 2-1 on the season, it hasn't exactly been a hot start for the Orange. Syracuse trailed by 5 goals twice against Army last week, but found a way to win it in triple overtime. In order to make it 2 wins in a row, Coach John Desko knows slowing down UVA specialist Justin Schwinnick will be critical.
This year they're getting the ball back after they score, and it's a very potent offense. And it just lets them, they want to play fast, and it lets them play fast because they know after goals they got a good chance of getting the ball back. I think he's facing off at about 68% right now. So that's really helped their cause. It helps rest their defense too.
If you can't wait until 3 o'clock for Syracuse lacrosse, no worries. The SU women's team takes on Virginia earlier in the day. The 3-0 Orange faces its toughest challenge yet against the also undefeated Cavaliers. The big story in this one is how SU recovers from the loss of draw specialist Morgan Widener. The sophomore suffered a season-ending injury last week in the Orange's 19-12 win over Albany. The opening draw between number 7 SU and number 11 UVA is set for noon on Sunday. For updates throughout the game, make sure to follow Citrus TV Sports on Twitter. It's March, which means it's time for the CHA tournament. The SU women's ice hockey team picked up an easy 5-1 win last night against RIT. Syracuse is back in action today against Mercyhurst in the semifinals. And boy, is it a thriller. The Orange and Lakers are currently tied at 2 in the third period. Actually, that game just went into overtime, still no winner. You probably couldn't play baseball in Syracuse right now, but you can play it in Florida. The Yankees picked up a come-from-behind 5-4 win over the Braves earlier today. The Bombers entered the night down by 2 runs, but that all changed when Tyler Austin blasted a 2-run walk-off homer to center field. Off-season acquisition Giancarlo Stanton had 2 hits and 3 at-bats for New York. Further down the coast of Florida, the Mets fell to the Nationals 2-1. 6 Washington Bishers combined to give up just 3 hits to New York in its 5th loss of the spring. Split squad action today for the Mets. The second game against the Astros just got underway.
All right, thanks so much, Jonathan. Citrus TV News will be right back.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
And we have an update on the Central Michigan University shooting that occurred this morning. The CMU University staff has confirmed that the 2 fatal deaths were in fact the shooter's parents. We will have more for you updated on our Twitter and our website.
Yeah, just a terrible story, honestly. You hate to hear it, but that's all the time we have today. Don't forget to check out our website at CitrusTV.com.
And make sure to follow us on Twitter and check our website. For all of us here at Citrus TV News, I'm Nicole DeMentri.
And I'm Noah Eagle. Have a great night and a great weekend, Syracuse.